Every so often, we have to go back to the ancient texts. If you ever feel stuck in a rut or bored or you want to switch it up, you need to go to old print media. I'm sure you probably know who Kevyn is, and I'm sure you probably know Making Faces. This is a very iconic beauty book. Kevyn was a once in a generational talent, and he really paved the way for a lot of what every makeup artist does today. And in this book, he shares so many secrets and tips on how to adapt them to your makeup and also how to use them in like unconventional ways. There's so much in here that's just so inspiring. And I'm really in quite a glowy, girly, whimsical makeup era at the minute, if you watched my last video. And this really stood out to me, this gorgeous shimmer. This is very, very Kevyn. And I just fell in love with this woman. I just love this makeup look so much. It really stopped me in my tracks. And even though I've been a makeup artist for like 10 years, 11 years, I wanted to follow Kevyn's steps step by step because I want to do it exactly like he did it. And if you're a makeup artist, a makeup lover, fashion lover, anything lover, you'll know that you should never stop trying new things and learning and growing. Kevyn says the shimmer face utilizes dewy foundations with iridescent and metallic pencils and creams. It's also an example of highlighting and shading without the use of typical contouring products. So basically like reverse contouring. Here you can easily see where the highlight hits Jamie's face and those areas come forward because of the reflective qualities of makeup. Also, don't necessarily think of this as, or any other face in terms of daytime or evening. It's all a matter of application and desired effect, which I absolutely love. I always talk about not putting yourself into a box and not putting your makeup looks into a box. Don't designate things to nighttime or daytime. If you want to wear it, just fucking wear it. Let's begin. The first tip, if you're oily, just use powders instead of creams. Perfect tip. I'm super dry, so I'm not going to use any powder. This is everything you need: concealer, liquid highlighting lotion on sponge, pink liquid blush, warm brown eyeliner, burgundy cream eyeshadow, pale beige shimmer, eyeshadow brush, eyelash curler, black mascara, burgundy mascara, neutral toned lip liner, and a shimmery pink gloss. Now, I am going to adapt the tones to my complexion for what looks good on me, but I'll follow the application technique. So I'm going to do step 1 and step 2 together, using concealer only if necessary, spot touch the face to even out the skin, basically skin like makeup, so no makeup. Number 2, apply highlighter lotion to the face with fingertips. For this photo, highlighter was added to the neck and collarbone. So basically gorgeous, dewy, glowy, sexy, whimsical and radiant. I'm taking this Rhode highlighting milk all over. This is like a pinky pearly, very hydrating, very glowy toner, and I just take it all over my face. I'm obsessed with this at the minute, which is one of the reasons why this look stood out to me so much. Haley really ate this up. Like, not only does it make my skin feel amazing, it looks really good. Like, look at the difference afterwards. Just even that on its own is phenomenal. And then don't forget your neck. Obviously you can just use like a body oil here or a body oil with shimmer, but I just wanted to see what this would look like on the neck. But I wouldn't use it on my neck every time because I would run up a very, very expensive road bill. Now for the concealer, like we said, it needs to be very undetectable and very skin-like. So I'm using my Tarte 28 concealer. This is the serum concealer. This is the perfect concealer perfect concealer for anyone, but especially if you have skin conditions. I'm going to put it onto the back of my hand and work from there so I don't put too much on my skin in one go. Being delicate and a light hand for a look like this is really important, so the brush that you use is also really important. I love this brush. It has a fluffy side and it has a more dense side, so you can use the more dense side for something a bit more full coverage and the fluffier side for less coverage. I'm using the more dense side just to cover up my hyperpigmentation or my scarring, whatever. And I'm focusing not only kind of where I need it, where I get the most pigmentation, which is around my nose and around my mouth where I've had spots and redness. If you brush the brush over your skin delicately, you'll get like a nice wash of color. If you press it or stipple it, pat it, whatever, you will get more coverage. So just bear that in mind when you're trying to build up coverage. But make sure that you always take stock every few seconds that you're applying. Like I said, for a look like this, you want to be really deliberate and considered and intentional with what you're applying and where. Step 3, apply a very light application of liquid blush to the cheeks and temples, blending well with fingers or sponge. I'm going to use a cream blush and I'm going to use a fluffy brush because this blush is my all-time favorite blush and it's just perfect for this kind of look, especially on my complexion. And the brush is fluffy and I'm applying a very, very small amount because I don't want to overdo it. Look is very, very radiant, but it's not so blushy and colorful on the cheeks, so it needs to be a whisper of like a natural flush of color. Also, this blush has a highlighter or like an opalescent sort of finish in it, which is just kind of 2-in-1 for me because the look is glowy and we want it to be as glowy as possible. So don't use anything like a cream blush that is going to dry down matte or a liquid blush that's just going to give you too much color. Think about the overall vibe and you just use a very small amount of product every step. Step number 4 for the eyes, start with the warm toned dark brown eye pencil, blend it into the upper lashes and smudge with your eyeshadow brush. This is just such a classic 90s makeup look and I can never get enough of it. I worked on a Bobbi Brown counter for 6 years, which was a huge brand in the 90s, and this was like the signature look that we would do on everyone for the sole reason that it looks good on every single eye shape. So you just messily apply your eyeliner across your lash line and use a brush like this, a flat kind of blending brush, just to blend it into the lash line. I'm using the Wonderskin brown liner, which is a longwear liner, so it's going to dry as you're applying it, so you do have to be kind of quick, but it will work in your favor later on because it's not going to move throughout the day. This is all about lash line definition, very sexy. Don't wing it out. This is just more circular and more rounded. If you look back at the gorgeous girls of the time or anyone wearing makeup, it was all about lash line and lash line definition. I saw a woman on TikTok the other day who used to do the makeup for like the Playboy bunnies, and she said that she used to use like 5 mascaras on them. I'm not going to put the eyeliner on the bottom in the waterline because it's kind of just more along the lash line just to emphasize the lower lash line, not define the eyes on the inside, if that makes sense. So it's a way softer approach to definition. So the same for every step in this. I would encourage you to use shades that work for your complexion. So if you're deeper, use a black eyeliner or, you know, a more warm blush than I did. Take everything and apply it to you and make it work for you. Don't like force. It's actually not the colors that are the most important part about this look. It's the technique and the application. Like you can see that I'm really kind of cautiously applying each step. I apply a bit, blend it out, and then see if it needs any more. I'm just resisting the urge to go for it because that is my natural inclination when it comes to makeup. So I'm just like really working against my instincts here. Step 5. The burgundy cream eyeshadow is applied in a circle around the eye with an eyeshadow brush, leaving the dark brown pencil darkest at the lash line. Blend outward in a circular direction. Now I will not be using burgundy because that would look insane on my complexion. It might look great on yours though. It would just look more editorial on me than this look is supposed to look. So I'm going to use like a softer version. This is like a cool tone pinky brown, and I'm just going to take that all over the lid and blend it in a circle, just like Kevyn instructed. I'm just so obsessed with the shape of this look. I always remember when I worked on that Bobbi counter that they described it as the look getting darkest closest to your pupil. I just think that's so charming that all the girls back in the day were like striving to really, really draw attention to their eyes, which I feel is funny because it's so lips now. Everyone is obsessed with lips, and it's just funny how it flips from one thing to another all the time. It's so nice to add this on the bottom, and it really emphasizes the circular shape that you really, really want to capture. Step number 6, the pale beige shimmer shadow is brushed on the brow bone. Incidentally, no brow pencil was used for this photo. So he's obviously just saying like make your brows look as natural as possible, and if they're perfect, just leave them. The shimmer that I'm using is gold with silver in it. Silver works way better for my complexion, but I didn't want to completely make it silver. Unlike the reference, I still wanted there to be a bit of warmth because ultimately that's what this is, like a glowy, gorgeous, warm, summery makeup look. But having a touch of silver in there just allows me to keep it more me and a bit more neutral so that it doesn't look weird on my complexion. I accidentally got the shimmer on my lash line, so I'm just brushing it away with the eyeliner brush, and we need to keep the focus on the brow bone for now. I'm using a brush with the silver to kind of amplify the shimmer a bit more because I also didn't want to get it all over my eye. Shimmers are kind of always best used with your finger, but sometimes you do just need like a good flat brush like this is a nice way to sort of just get it on there. I put it on my inner corner, but that's me like jumping ahead and just getting carried away, and I was very adamant that I wanted to kind of stick to the steps. I'm so bad at instructions and being told what to do. Step number 7, black mascara is applied to the top lashes and burgundy mascara to the bottom lashes. I'm just going to do black because burgundy doesn't look good on my complexion. Especially if I don't have much on my skin, any kind of red around my eye just makes me look super red and weird. Can you believe this is actually the only Kevyn product I have? It is one of my favorite makeup products of all time. I use this every day and I have done for years. I used to have a contour and a mascara that I really, really loved, and I've completely finished them. But this lash curler is the best lash curler I've ever used, and I've used very expensive ones and I've used cheap ones, and this is the best one to this day for me. I'm using my beloved Tower 28 mascara because it builds up really beautifully and it creates a really gorgeous shape on my eyelashes, which is actually perfect for this makeup look as well because there is a very specific kind of lash. It's not too chunky, but it's not underwhelming. You want to be able to see it. You want to see some definition. You want to see volume and length. They basically kind of need to look like fake lashes without there being any fake lashes, because that would just completely change the whole essence of the look. So you should really spend your time here on the mascara. It's also so good to have the fan blowing as you're doing your mascara because it dries really quickly as you go, so everything just works so much faster, which is really, really nice. And also remember how important lashes are in this era. Like I said, it was all about lashes and gorgeous sexy eyes, so make sure you capture that. I'm so excited for this part because I love her lip. Step 8 and 9. After a lip pencil is used to devise the shape of the mouth, fill in using the same shimmery pink lip gloss is then applied as a finishing touch. So we're basically going to do what I have been calling to myself the celebrity lip. The very blurred, muted lip liner and pretty glossy and juicy. This is a Rhode lip sculpt, or I think it's called that. It's basically like a very blunt pencil that you get a really blurry sort of lip line, which I was never a fan of until I started doing it on myself and became a fan. The color is really nice. This is the shade Push. It's very muted. It works perfectly for the rest of the color palette, especially the color on my eyes. You want it to be a wee bit deeper than your lip color, but not massively. Now for the gloss, I'm using the pink shimmery gloss, this Kiko gloss. I'm obsessed with it. It is just absolutely the perfect color for this. Like, it is one of my favorite glosses, period. But for this look, it just couldn't be better. It just could not be better. It pulls everything together so spectacularly. I'm using a very baby pink silvery one, but go get a Kiko gloss for this. Seriously, I rarely encourage you to go and buy stuff, but like their glosses are just perfect, and there's so many different colors and tones, and oh, I just need all of them. I completely forgot to do my brows when he brought them up earlier, but I'm just going to quickly do them with the Sweet Urban Decay palette and my KGH Spectrum brush. Always press the excess product into your hand, really work it into the brush so that you don't have too much going on to the brow at once, especially because the look needs stripped back brow, just a very natural brow. It shouldn't look like you've done anything at all. Also, I don't like if it ever looks like you've done anything to the brow. It just always looks so chic when it looks like you just have great brows and you haven't sculpted them. So this is the look that I followed step by step with my own adjustments, color corrections, but I do want to add a few more alterations to make it work for me even more. I'm taking the grey from the same palette that I used on the eyes to deepen the crease because I can take it, my face can take it, I have dark hair, it's gonna work, and it's just gonna be one of those touches that really kind of rounds everything off and sculpts everything a little bit more. I know it's not exactly like that 90s shape that, all the direction still goes to your lash line, but it is. The most definition is at my lash line, but I think for my complexion, a little bit of a cooler tone around there is really going to pull everything together and make it look even more circular, which, as you can see, it did. Then, with whatever is left on my eyebrow brush, I'm going to define the lower lash line a wee bit more because I've lost a bit of that definition from blending around the eye and the mascara. And I think it's a really nice feature of this look, that lash line definition with the open waterline. I also wanted the makeup to be even more glowy and eye-catching, so I'm mixing the two shimmers on a fluffy brush and applying them to the brow bone, and it really just like enhances it even more. It's really good to do these kind of things at the end because then you have the full picture and you can really create balance and harmony. Kevyn didn't say to put it on your inner corner, but when I looked at the look as a whole, it needed it. And also in the reference picture, she has like a glowy inner corner, so I wanted to capture that too, because basically this is all about the light catching your particular points of your face. So like your brow bone, your nose, your inner corner, your cheekbones. So you might have to kind of manufacture those yourself. I also wanted a bit more shimmer on the complexion, so I'm taking this Chanel highlighter thing and I just want to take it on again, the high points. I want the light to catch my skin as much as possible. So on the cheekbone. Not only is this a highlighter, but it has a bit of pink in it too, so it makes me a bit more rosy, and rosy glow is kind of the vibe of this whole thing. Then I just want to blend it out and soften it a bit more, so I'm using the fluffy end of that Rhode brush to kind of evenly disperse it across the rest of my skin, so it kind of just catches all around, and then taking whatever is left on the brush, just like dusting it over the nose, just to give the nose a wee bit more love. I love wearing this on the lips anyway, and I knew it was just going to take it up a notch for an even glassier, glowier, shiny lip, and it just took it there. It's not frosted, it's just so glowy and gorgeous. I could not get over how I felt in this makeup. Like, I just felt so unbelievably gorgeous, and it works perfectly for where I'm at with makeup at the minute, which is just very soft, considered, and it's so fun to go back and like follow instructions from a 90s makeup tutorial. Like, that is just that is the reference point. So it's just really fun to like translate that onto yourself, and don't be afraid to like make little adaptations and exemptions to make it work for you. The technique and application is what's important. You can change the colors. Let me know if there's any makeup books you really love. I would love to have a look at them and see if I can recreate anything from there, because I definitely want to do more from Kevyn's book. This is me and her side by side. How did we do? This is the only makeup look I want to wear for the next lifetime, probably. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.